Ex Machina explores both society's admiration and fear of technological advancement, specifically artificial intelligence, through an extremely controlled environment. A programmer, Caleb Smith, who works for the dominant search engine company Blue Book, wins an office contest for a one-week visit to the luxurious, isolated home of CEO Nathan Bateman, who has built a humanoid robot named Ava using artificial intelligence. Ava has already passed a simple Turing test, and Nathan wants Caleb to judge whether Ava is genuinely capable of thought and consciousness, and whether he can relate to Ava despite knowing that she's artificial. However, Ex Machina is certainly not the first, nor will it be the last, film to discuss artificial intelligence with a human-driven society. Dating back to 1927, Fritz Lang's Metropolis is one of the first films to ever even acknowledge the implications of artificial intelligence and human interaction with machines. Lang's film then went on to inspire a plethora of AI-focused films, such as 2001: A Space Odyssey, Blade Runner, The Terminator, Her, and even WALL-E in the facade of an easily digestible family-friendly film. However, what makes films like Her and Ex Machina so particularly intriguing is their substantial relevance to our current society and what it can very likely become in our lifetime. In an interview with Ex Machina's composers, Ben Salisbury and Jeff Barrow, Salisbury recalls, "With Ex Machina, we knew the electronic side of things would be useful. It needed an ultra-simple human element, very naive, almost fairy tale quality to it, to help the character and the audience to fall in love with Ava. It needed this weird combination of human and electronic music, which I suppose is a reflection of the film's subject matter." The film has a very subtle score throughout the majority of scenes, leaving plenty of room for dialogue and the cold digital ambience of the environment to shine through. When breaking down the compositions that comprise the score and sonic landscape of Ex Machina, it becomes abundantly clear that the music is as self-aware as the narrative. This balance of humanity and artificiality in the score is represented beautifully in Ava's theme. Ethereal, endlessly droning pads fade in as more layers of these light, airy pads build and a delicate music box begins to play a lullaby-like melody. We hear these synthesized sounds that still seem to have such an organic and harmonically pleasant and familiar feeling to them in conjunction with the sound of a music box, a sound that almost exclusively represents the sentiment of innocence. So if we see Ava as such a human-like character, why does the music in the film still leave us with such a strong sense of artificiality? After watching the film a few more times, closely analyzing the relationship between the narrative and the specific musical cues, I reached a conclusion. As we near the end of the film and it is revealed that Ava has become so self-aware and cunning that she could manipulate Caleb into betraying Nathan's trust and helping Ava escape containment, the score has been hinting this to us throughout the entire story, playing tricks with us along the way. Going back to the end of the film, Ava has escaped confinement and bypassed all security as Nathan does what he can to keep her from escaping. As he drags Eva across the floor of the hallway, the only other AI in the film, who is being used essentially as a helper or butler for Nathan, stabs him through the back with a knife, thus putting an end to their captivity. As the knife enters Nathan's back and Eva pulls it out, only doing so to stab him in the chest as they exchange eye contact one last time, we are seamlessly brought into the final cue of Ex Machina's score, an arpeggiating, filtered, and distorted synth that opens up to bright and loud frequencies, defying any of the subtleties that were present in the restrained, synthesized score throughout the film. We are no longer in Nathan's world, where there is a firm and grounded sense of the organic nature illustrated in the bare and subtle compositions of Salisbury and Barrow. We are now in Eva's world, where she has stood up to her captor and proven herself just as sentient as the rest of humanity, illustrated in this newly confident synthesizer-driven score, composed by Cuts, an underground audiovisual artist from the United Kingdom. For some, this may ironically confirm the fear of what if the AIs take over, despite that not being Garland's point with this film. However, the conclusion of Ex Machina, in fact, seems to be an explorative criticism on society's view of artificial intelligence. You want to create extraordinary beings that can process information faster than any human and can experience true human emotion? Then what exactly is it that you expect to happen when a sentient being has been held captive and is completely aware of the situation? Ava didn't kill Nathan because she's a villain. She was simply trying to survive. In fact, she was experiencing one of the most fundamental things that make humans who we are: the need to survive.